Now, moving on to the focus strategies. Successful focus strategy depends upon an industry segment that is of sufficient size and has a good growth potential. Second and third keyword is it should not be crucial to the success of other major competitors. And secondly, it's more effective when consumers have distinctive preferences, specific preferences. Some of the world's most famous examples of these are, now first we come to low cost focus. So this is a Swedish company. Most of you are familiar with IKEA. It's there in India also now. So please go through the IKEA website. That's a small exercise for you. So young people all across the world, it is present in more than 100 countries. Young furniture buyers who want style at a low cost, price sensitive, and low service customer groups. Now, low service means that most of this furniture is to be assembled by the consumer himself. They give the guidelines and pamphlets and other support is given at their website how to assemble it. So, much service is not required from the customer company side to assemble the furniture. So that kind of people it focuses on, very successful all over the world. Next is Southwest Airline. Now, the concept of low cost airline in the world was started by this airlines. This is again American Airlines. It's a short haul airlines. Short haul means between not does not cover very long distances in America. Shorter distances, it for example does not fly from east. Longer distances, east coast to west coast, that is New York to Los Angeles, but smaller routes. Uh, and it gives point to point service between mid-sized cities, small towns in US, and secondary airports. So it does not fly from large airports in large cities. So most larger cities over there have a bigger airport and a smaller airport. So it has lower pricing and lower service. The service quality is low. They don't have all that air hostess and offering food, all those kind of frills, and they are cheap also and very popular. Now the second part of focus strategy is focus best value differentiation, what we can call. Now here price is not the issue, it can be luxury goods, and we have examples of luxury products here only. First is Rolex watches. I remember a anecdote of Rolex. The founder who started this company, somebody asked him one day that so how is your watch business going on, and he said, sorry gentlemen, I am not in the watch business, I don't sell watches. And that is what we also know, people don't buy a Rolex watch to see time, they want it they buy it just to flaunt it as a status symbol. The next example is of a Rolls Royce, serving luxurious end of the automobile, premium pricing and image. So we generally in India think that BMW or let's say Mercedes, we consider them to be luxury brands, and they start from around 40 lakhs, right? Whereas Rolls Royce can, the average pricing is around 4 crores. So here it is 10 times more expensive than a entry level BMW or a Mercedes Benz. Okay, now coming to certain theoretical anchorings of focus strategies. Now, focus strategy depends on what things, what are the factors on which this strategy depends and it's successful. Successful focus strategy depends upon the industry segment that is of a sufficient size. Now, for example, in case of Rolls-Royce cars, what is the size? What is the average number of cars that they are selling all over the world? That's around 100 per year. 100 cars, enough. 3 to 4 crore per car. So that is their market size, and they're happy with and profitable with it. Has good growth potential. Number of millionaires in the world are growing. They're growing in countries like India and China, and number of these luxury cars is also growing. So that's an example, and it is not crucial to the success of other major competitors. So, if a person who is going to buy a Rolls Royce or a Bentley is not going to buy a BMW or a Mercedes or a Porsche, so their business does not affect the other competitors. Strategies such as market penetration and market development offer further substantial focusing advantages. Now, now example of market penetration, again take the automobile industry. Around 15 years ago, these German cars had entered India. So that was an example of market penetration into India. And if we talk about Rolls Royce and Bentley also, they have also come in India in the recent 10-15 years. So they have market penetrated the market and they have developed the market. Develop means now they have identified customers. You can't just go into a dealership and buy a Rolls Royce. So they say that they generally select the customers, they approach the customers, those who are deserving, and offer them the product. Uh, so market penetration and market development needs to be done in case of focus strategies. Mid-size and large firms can effectively pursue focus strategies only in conjunction with differentiation or cost leadership based strategies. So you have to have a combination with differentiation and cost leadership. All firms in essence follow a differentiated strategy. So this means whatever three strategies you are following, whether it's low cost leadership or it's differentiation or it's focus, basically you are being different from the others, because only when one firm can differentiate itself with the lowest cost, so one firm becomes the lowest low cost company, so the remaining firms in the industry must find the other two ways to differentiate their products. Focus strategies are the most effective when consumers have a distinctive preference or requirements, and when the rival firms are not attempting to specialize in the same target market. Now we see some examples from a different industry. Now Sara Lee Corporation is pursuing a focus strategy as it's trying to divest of its European household and personal care business. Household and personal care is what you see in a grocery store. Companies like Hindustan Unilever and Procter and Gamble are into it, so that the firm can focus on its core food and beverage business. Now personal care is soaps and shampoos and beauty products, so they are also available in a normal grocery shop. It wants to defocus its attention from those products and move to core food and beverage businesses. So food products, they want to get into that business. That is the focus area. The company is asking about 2 billion for its household business. That means it wants to sell that SBU, that business, to some other company. Sara Lee sells Jimmy Dean sausages and ballpark franks and a mix of coffee and baked goods. These are the name of the products that are popular in Europe. And so who will be the bidders? As I told you, for this companies are there companies that are into that kind of business. So that is Unilever, and that's again a multinational company, and Johnson and Johnson, that's into baby products, and Colgate Palmolive. So companies from the same industry are going to offer to buy it. Then we come to risks of focus strategy. Risks of copying are there, risks of change in consumer preferences are there. So the same risks, almost the same, that were there in differentiation strategies. And last is, an organization using a focus strategy may concentrate on a particular group of customers. Either you have a set of customers, or two, either you work in a particular geographic market or on a particular product line segment. You work in a particular product area to serve a well defined but narrow market. So I recollect a very good example in the Indian market. Now there are a lot of companies manufacturing water purifiers, but out of those companies there are few which make water softeners also. So water softener is equipment which they tie to your water tank up on the terrace, so that your taps and washing machines and the geysers don't get spoiled with the salt depositions. Now the next thing is focused strategy guidelines. When the target market is niche, is large, profitable and growing, so then we are supposed to use focus strategy. When industry leaders do not consider the niche to be crucial, as we studied earlier, when the industry has many different niches, you can take up one niche or more than one niche to cater to. So that means the niches are available in the market when few, if any, rivals are attempting to specialize in the same target segment. So basically you see that nobody is much interested in the segment that you are serving. So that was all about focus strategy. And now coming to the last part of this, Mr. Porter talks about stuck in the middle strategy. So basically we have studied three strategies: differentiation, then second is cost leadership, and third is focus. And when you are here in the center, you are nowhere on the sides of the triangle, then you don't have any chance of much chance of being successful. So which is known as stuck in the middle strategy. And these strategies of Porter are mutually exhaustive. That means there is no overlapping. Either you can be a differentiator, or you can be a cost leader, or you can have a focus on a particular market. Both are not possible at the same time. He identified the fifth outcome called stuck in the middle. A firm is said to be so if it does not offer product attributes that are unique. That means you are being different, and your prices are also high to compete on the basis of price. You are not unique, and so if you are not unique, why should anybody pay you higher prices? So achieve a cost leadership or a cost parity. Parity means your prices should be equal to your competitors. Then you cannot charge more if you are not different, or you must orient yourself to a target market, that is a niche segment. So being stuck means that their advantage is not sustainable. So your competitive advantage, CA, the term we studied earlier chapters, that is not going to be sustained for long. Now coming to the last part of the lecture, we are now going to sum up the generic strategies. Now first, coming to overall cost leadership, what are the commonly required skills and resources in the organization for cost leadership, and what are the skills and resources needed, and what are the second column shows you what are the organizational requirements. So for cost leadership, remember the steel company investment and the thermal plant example I gave you, 5 rupees per unit versus 2.5 rupees per unit, sustained capital investment and access to capital. So you have to invest in new technology, new machinery, and that will result in giving you better process engineering skills. That is, you have to improve your manufacturing process or your service process. For example, in case of airlines, there has to be intensive supervision of labor so that they keep the costs low. Your products should be designed for ease in manufacture. So easy to manufacture products are uh, always economical, lower in cost to manufacture, and complicated products are always higher in cost to manufacture. And you should have a low cost distribution system in whichever geography you are operating. Now these FMCG companies have a very low cost distribution network and excellent distribution network. uh, Now as far as the organizational requirements are concerned, now this thing is repeated: tight cost control over the employees. And second is a lot of controlling reports are generated. There is a subject also in management related to this called management control systems. In that you study all this kind of stuff, that how things are controlled, various kind of cost can be controlled in the organization. Then we need to have a structured organization and responsibilities. So organization structure has to be very clear, and responsibilities marked very well, and employees are given incentives on meeting strict quantitative targets. So quantitative targets can be about production, they can be about cost control. If they achieve them, they are given monetary incentives. Now coming to the second thing, differentiation. What kind of skills and resources are required in the organization? First is strong marketing abilities. See, marketing is very important as far as differentiation is concerned. Take a simple product like Ashirwad Atta. Now how is Ashirwad different from other flours in the country? They say it's whole grain wheat, and you see how much of advertisement and all they do. So that's why a simple normal flour sells at 25 rupees a kg, and Ashirwad sells at 35 rupees a kg. They are able to charge 10 rupees more from because of that. Then product engineering, as far as manufacturing products are concerned: cars, automobiles, electronics, consumer durables, ACs, LED TVs. That depends what kind of engineering goes into them. Then a company has to be creative. That means the employees have to have creative to bring out a new differentiated kind of products. The company should have very strong capability in basic research. 3M is the best example of that. They should have a quality reputation for quality or technological leadership. Toyota is a company in the automobile industry that has a reputation for quality. There should be a long tradition in the industry or unique combination of skills drawn from other businesses. So combination of skills is very important, and strong cooperations from all channels. So channels basically your forward and backward channels. So your forward channels are the distributors who distribute your products and services. In case of service sector, they can be the franchises. And now coming to what kind of organizational requirements are there. These simple things coming again and again: strong coordination among functions in R&D and product development and marketing. Now this is very important for differentiation: R&D, product development and marketing. You can see above, in cost leadership, R&D is not important, product development is not there, marketing is not there. There what are the requirements in cost leadership? Cost. Look at the box above. Now next thing is subjective measurement and incentives instead of quantitative measures. Now when we are a cost leader, we focus on quantity only. Now here it is not only quantity, there is the quality may vary, they have to see the creativity also. So the subjective measurement is there, it's not objective. A person may make a product, cost is always not considered. There are other factors to be considered because the customer are willing to pay more for the product or service. Then last point is the HR angle. Amenities to attract highly skilled labor scientists or creative people. Now, as I told earlier, companies such as 3M and Google are the best example of that, and they have one of the highest paid employees in the world. So that was all about the requirements for cost leadership and differentiation, and focus is again a combination of these above two. Now this is for you to read. You can pause the slide and read it. Just a summary article from Economic Times that talks about certain examples. So as far as low cost example is concerned, it is the Toyota production system developed by the Toyota Motor Company. The Toyota cars are considered to be value for money, and they are almost priced at the same level as their American and Japanese cars. So Toyota people have a system of cost reduction, and they reward their employees when they take part in cost reduction and show some results. They are given some percentage as a incentive. Now second, it talks about the differentiation strategy, and the company that they talk over here that uses this strategy is Hindustan Lever Limited. The multinational, the parent company for this is, which is Unilever. It's a Netherlands based company, operates mainly in Europe and across USA, Americas also, which focuses on fast moving consumer goods. And the most popular product from them is Surf Excel. And the last is the focus strategy. Here they are giving an example of the German automobile Porsche, which is again, most people in India would go in for a Mercedes and BMW, but there's a limited category that goes and buys the Porsche car. Now that's the end of this presentation. And students, these are some topics from the book of Johnson and Scholes, which I referred for this thing. If you need to read further on how to sustain price based advantage or sustaining cost leadership, CL, then you can read further. And next topic is sustaining differentiation based priced advantage, how differentiation can be sustained. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.